Alrighty, so Bethesda Game Studios just released a bunch of new information related to Fallout 76, talking about what's happening with the game for the rest of the year, but more importantly, what's going to be dropping next year. What kind of content are we seeing coming to the game in 2024? And some of this stuff is getting me very excited. It's no surprise if you've watched a couple of my recent Fallout 76 videos, I absolutely have been more critical and negative towards the game. It's because I got to a point where I was very, very burnt out. And that's just not because I put a hell of a lot of hours into Fallout 76. That's also true. But I'm in the unique circumstance where I used to work on that game every day. All my days were Fallout 76, all my nights were playing the game, all my weekends were making videos and all that kind of stuff. I got burnt out for my own specific circumstance. And a lot of the content that was coming out for Fallout 76 around expeditions and the like just wasn't exciting me, and it wasn't really getting me back into the game. And that includes the latest drop for Atlantic City, Part 1, because that's just expeditions, whereas Part 2 is more than just expeditions, and that actually has a chance of getting me back. But as does a lot of the other stuff that they're teasing for the game, like a map expansion. That gets me really excited. Today I want to tell you everything that you need to know, and then I'll go through my thoughts throughout the video. So the latest Inside the Vault by Bethesda for Fallout 76 is linked in the description below, and it's entitled New Holiday Scorch Rewards, Community Calendar, Double XP, and more. I'm not going to cover everything in this Inside the Vault. I've just kind of cherry picked the stuff that I believe is the most important, and we'll spend most of the time in this video talking about the map expansion. So Atlantic City Boardwalk Paradise is here. In case you missed it, we made it to Atlantic City. They dropped that on December 5th this month. And they've said in the Inside the Vault, we've seen reports of stability concerns and released a hotfix on Friday, December 8th, that address these issues: naked NPCs in the casino and the inability to activate certain items in the casino. These stability fixes also address players who could not enter Expedition since the update or experience crashing while leaving the most sensational game, among additional stability improvements. Our next update for Fallout 76 is currently planned for January 30 and will address bugs such as non-lootable Union power armor and missing communist crafting items. We are also investigating the reports of missing XO1 radiation resistances and will provide you with more information on those fixes as soon as we can. So, pretty stock standard, sounds good. Good to see that fixes are obviously still coming to the game. No launch, no expedition launch, no content drop is going to be perfect. I just hope, I haven't played it recently, but I do hope the game is in a good state, and it's good to see them releasing these fixes. And then they go in talking about there will be a holiday scorched event, starts on December 19, runs until January 2nd US time. So enjoy that. There are some potential, I think they are new rewards. Hopefully, they're not just kind of repeated rewards and stuff that they just keep putting back into the pool. So stuff like the honeycomb paper decoration set and the plastiform gingerbread and the Santa sleigh. I hope that is new stuff to celebrate the holiday season. And then they include a Season 15 community calendar. I will put this on the screen. Again, nothing too exciting across the board. It's a lot of the regular stuff. There's a double score and double XP event. There's a script surplus. There's a Burning the Love challenge event, etc., etc., etc. A lot of the typical events that you've seen from Fallout 76, nothing too exciting here. But what is exciting, which we'll talk about later, is in March 2024, next year, that's when we'll see the release of the second part of Atlantic City, America's Playground, plus Season 16. So for those of you that don't know, what's out right now is essentially, Atlantic City, but a couple of expeditions. Next year, we're going to be seeing actual story content, a third expedition, I believe, and just a lot of cool other stuff. So in my mind, I'd actually prefer to play the game then. That seems like a fuller package and a more complete package for Atlantic City. So I think that's when I'm going to jump in. I don't think I'm going to be playing this iteration of Atlantic City Part 1. And then we get to the exciting stuff, all right? So a letter to the community from art director John Rush. Quote, as we approach the end of 2023, we look forward to 2024 with you. Check out this letter to the community from Fallout 76 art director John Rush, where he gives insights into what is next for Appalachia. So that is also linked in the description below. It is entitled Fallout 76 in 2024, A New Year Approaches. Again, I'll cherry pick the information and we'll go from there. So it says in that letter, together 17 million players have experienced new Fallout tales and characters with the Wastelanders, and we're not done yet. We thought this is the perfect time to look forward to what's coming next year in Appalachia. Arriving in spring 2024, as I mentioned, the second installment, Atlantic City America's Playground, features an additional mission in which players will confront the legendary Jersey Devil, along with new story-driven quests, more areas to explore, and of course, plenty of rewards. So I never agreed necessarily with them splitting up Atlantic City into 2 parts. I think it would have just been better and more impactful just to do it all at once, even if it was a little bit delayed. But I get it, because you don't want Fallout 76 players to kind of keep getting bored and leaving because you haven't added anything new. At least part 1 of Atlantic City is something new. And from what I see, the expeditions are better than the pit, which is really good news. And then you have part 2 coming out later, which is just another, period where you see more content and you get excited again. So I kind of get it, but I still would have preferred everything to drop at once whenever it was ready. But anyways, continuing, war never changes, but that sure doesn't stop Appalachia from mutating. Later in 2024, we're expanding our map southward, deep into the wooded heartland of Shenandoah. This uncharted, once tranquil expanse in the heart of Virginia will bring a new questline, factions, and rewards. This is the stuff that I'm talking about, all right? This is exactly what Fallout 76 needs. A new map expansion, an area to explore, something different to do within the confines of the main game and not like a completely separate location like with what we've seen with Atlantic City and the pit. Don't get me wrong, that serves its purpose, but the same map over and over, doing the same events over and over was getting a little bit tiresome, for me at least anyways. A new map part to explore, areas that we have seen previously inaccessible now becoming accessible, and I'll talk about that in a second. That's what gets me excited. That's what gets me, actually amped to get back into the game and to try Fallout 76 once again, because it's stuff that we haven't seen before, again, within the actual main map. So there was a picture that was dropped. I'll show that on the screen right now. You can see this is taking place in Shenandoah National Park. It's very cool. Red lightning is very ominous. I don't know what the red lightning is, but what's more important is that you can see on the left, there is the vault door of Vault 63 on the left, okay? Now, Vault 63 has actually existed in the main map in Fallout 76, but it's just not been accessible to date. Yes, there have been players that have managed to get inside. I think the first person that got inside Vault 63 did so unintentionally. It was like because they were going to an event or something and they just spawned in there. They took a bunch of photos and left. But obviously, like, it wasn't finished. Like, it wasn't in the final state like it would have been had the actual door been open and you've been able to explore it. So it was intended for cut content. And in fact, BGS, we know, had different ideas for Vault 63, including a Vault raid and also daily ops. So inside, if you were to go into it, yeah, you can find skeletons in disrepair, but it's obviously not finished, right? So when we're talking about Vault raids, Vault 63 initially had 3 different Vault missions, which again was cut content. So the first one was Reactor Meltdown, where you could save the Vault from a catastrophic failure using the nuclear officer's IDs. The next one was Fire Outbreak, where you had to put out fires that broke out throughout the Vault using the fire chief's IDs. And lastly, Vault mission Riot, procure the military officer's IDs and report to the entrance in order to subdue the rioters. So those were the 3 different Vault missions that were going to be tied to Vault raids, and then they got cut, right? And obviously Vault raids aren't a thing anymore, unfortunately. And then after that, BGS was like, well, we also kind of want to turn this area into a daily ops location because it was unused, right? So they wanted to use it for something. But I am so glad that they didn't just use it for a daily ops location. I think a vault has so much more potential than just being a location for daily ops. I've never been a big fan of daily ops, right? So to just have that as a location where you go to and do a daily op, that's not exciting for me. I want to see storytelling. I want to see cool stuff to go in and explore. I want to see it tied into a big expansion, which seems like is what we're getting now, which is awesome, okay? So Vault 63 seems like it's going to be playing a big part as part of this map expansion. The Shenandoah area, I'm looking forward to it, man. We can only speculate on the specifics and what it might include, but you'll be able to pick out more kind of Easter eggs and hints in that picture. So have a look and let me know what you think in the comments below. So yeah, it is safe to say in my eyes that they've completely rethought Vault 63, and it's going to serve the basis of brand new storytelling. It's not just going to be the same vault like we saw in the person that went in and kind of leaked all those photos, okay? I think it's going to be something different, and the fact that that vault door kind of like exploded in that photo and it is in a completely different location, that sounds exciting to me. All right, so let's see what it involves. And then continuing in this letter, it says, throughout the coming year, the team is also shining a greater light on Fallout 76's beloved seasonal events. We're looking forward to running them much more frequently and offering a host of new rewards with each event. There are also plans for new seasonal events to round out our roster, so get ready to pencil in those calendars in 2024. I really do like Fallout 76's seasonal events. And I think just like everyone, I just wish that there was more. It seems like we are getting more, and it seems like we're getting new rewards. Like, it's fun being able to experience Fashion Day, but not 5 times in a year, right? That's an over-exaggeration, but I think it was like 3 times in a year because other events got broken, so they replaced it with Fashion. Like, Fashion is once, okay? Other seasonal events, it's once. It's a seasonal event. It's not a multi-seasonal event, okay? So let's get some new stuff, everything only once a year, to make it special, to make it actually feel like you're looking forward to it, and then have new rewards as part of that. Easier said than done, and they need the team and the resources to support that, but it seems like that's what we're getting next year, which is really exciting. And then finally, among all this exciting new content, we're planning to release several additional features and improvements that benefit our avid builders and adventurers alike. Whether you've roamed Appalachia's wilds since day one, or are still adjusting to the natural light outside the fluorescent halls of Vault 76, next year marks an exciting time to adventure into Fallout 76 and make friends in the wasteland. So as I mentioned, to kind of round this out, a map expansion is exactly what the game needed, in my opinion. Yes, I would love to see a Wastelander style expansion. I just don't believe we're going to get that anymore. I think the team is kind of, the BGS team specifically, they've moved on to different things. Most of them are doing Starfield. They're going to move on to Elder Scrolls 6. It's clear the team working on Fallout 76 right now, and of course Double 11 is part of that, but the team is much smaller than normal. We're never going to get a Wastelander style, expansion or content drop. But still, a map expansion is cool, and even if there was a minimal amount of storytelling, that's still more interesting to me. Something cool with Vault 63, I want to see a crazy vault experiment. I wanted to see it affect the Shenandoah area. That's really exciting to me. And it kind of ties into the last point that I want to make. 76 has so much potential, bro. It has so much potential. Even though I've been more critical towards the game as of late, it still has such an important place in my heart, and I know in the hearts of a lot of other players. And I just wish there was some world where Bethesda and Microsoft could just like strap a rocket to this fucking game and explode it to the moon. Like, I want 76 to be huge. I want it to have its eventual redemption. Yes, it's had a redemption, in parts, but not to the scale of Cyberpunk 2077, not to the scale of No Man's Sky. I want, like most people that think about Fallout 76, to say, you know what, it took him a while. It took him 7, 8, 9, whatever years, but it got to this really cool game. And we're not quite there yet. Yes, it's redeemed itself in parts, but not to kind of win back the masses and a lot of the players that ended up leaving, especially in that first year after launch, or especially even after they finished Wastelanders, after they came back. I wish this could be the case. This is good signs, I think, for a lot of the core player base of 76 and some lapsed players that are kind of interested to come back. Do I think it's going to move the needle and bring back even more players, like more casual lay fans of Fallout? I don't think so. But I wish there was a world where that was possible. I wish Microsoft saw 76 and thought, we're just going to invest a bunch of money into this game and really support you. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get that, but this is still good. This is good for me. This is good for the hardcore 76 fan. So let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. And until next time, this has been the Lone Vault Wanderer. Please take care of yourselves, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.